does for the little penalty.
Hey, when Manny goes over, yes, sir. Then they'll come through. You sit down. Okay, yeah. Yep. So as he starts walking off, I'll start playing.
Lighthouse will receive tonight's opening kickoff.
Who is?
Lighthouse.
Hey, can you press record on channel 3?
Record on 3?
Alrighty, Patriots fans, how many everybody stand up?
The semifinals conclude tonight in only one matchup as the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons await the winner of tonight's contest between the division rivals and the South Haven Christian School Patriots and the Lighthouse Christian School Lions in this week's Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Welcome, everybody. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside Zachary Lone. And very unfortunate situation for Lancaster Christian and having to forfeit their game against the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons. So the Falcons advanced to the state championship for the first time since 2015. But meanwhile, for the Patriots, they've been on rest for several weeks at this point. And in tonight's contest, especially with the several weeks west against the Lighthouse Christian School Lions, the big question comes down to, can the Lions get it done on the road? Zachary, we'll start with the Patriots. I mean, they've just been incredible on both sides of the ball throughout the season. How do you assess this team going into this game?
This team, they are one of the most well put together teams that we've seen so far this year. But the thing's going to be, what's important is to see how they're going to start the game. Because of all the rest, are they going to come out all firing all cylinders, or is there going to be a little rust? And that's the only thing I'd be worrying if I was playing for South Haven.
And to tell you what, the team that nobody is really talking about is the Lighthouse Christian School Lions, but national anthem being played in stadium. You'll listen to it in just a second.
Dear gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the day that you've given us. Lord, thank you for the safe arrival for my friends from Lighthouse. Lord, now we just ask you to be with these players, Lord, keep them safe throughout the days of the great. Lord, we ask you to be with the officials, Lord. Lord, just be with us as fans tonight, help us set the example for the younger generation to come. Lord, we just ask you now to come to us as a nation, Lord, help us heal, Lord. We know we have all the coronavirus going around, Lord. We just pray for all the families that are affected. Lord, we just ask you to be with our military as well as our across seas fighting for our freedom. Lord, we just give you all the praise and all the glory. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
And they finish up the national anthem. We'll finish up our pregame show. As I was mentioning, Zachary, you know the team that nobody's really talking about coming in today. It's the Lighthouse Christian School Lions. Do they have a chance?
Well, if they do have a chance, they need to start off early. They can't get behind. They're not a team that's going to be able to catch up with South Haven if they go down 2 scores early. So they need to go ahead and put the pressure on South Haven and try and score early. Try and get up 1, maybe 2 touchdowns, and then try and just rely on what their strengths are.
And that's the big thing. And there was a lot of speculation on social media. Christian Sharp is not in today's game. He is working out, but will not return to the football scene until 2021. So was healthy enough to play tonight, but he will not be in tonight's game as we head over to the field in just a few moments. Kickoff time here in Springfield. Kickoff time here in Springfield as the Patriots collide with the Lions in a divisional matchup, and Lighthouse will receive to start out the game. South Haven trying to stop them early and get a chance to return in the second half.
Lighthouse now has the chance to put the pressure on South Haven because they are the favorites. There's something about playing with the underdog with all the pressure taken off of you. So let's see if they how they come out, Lighthouse, if they come out strong.
Kickoff by Alex Martinez, the senior. And starting out at the 30-yard line, we are underway in the semifinal for the TSIAA, and it's immediately fallen on by the Lighthouse Lions, and they'll get great field advantage at about midfield. Landon Turner with the recovery. And Lighthouse, they had one of the toughest losses in the offseason, just as much as any other team in the TSIAA. Of course, they took a loss in Aiden Hooper, who transferred to Middle Tennessee Christian, and Christian Sharp, who had to have surgery on his ankle, so he'll be back and hopefully ready to go in his senior year. But the Lions have had a ton of losses as we're at the first offensive play of the game. It's going to be a loss of about 5 as Jacob Clark tries to take the ball but gets tripped up behind the line of scrimmage.
And there was a little bit of miscommunication on the play. The quarterback turned to hand the ball off to the fullback there, but the fullback was already at the line of scrimmage. So he had to go ahead and it was good for him just to go ahead and take his loss instead of trying to do something more right there.
So on a 5-yard loss, this Lighthouse offense is trying to make a statement on the road. Carry up the middle for a gain of a few yards, and looking in the distance, looks like it may have been Ford.
And that's what they wanted the first play. They wanted to get 4 or 5 yards to go ahead and get your offense rolling. But with the miscommunication, now they're looking at 3rd and 11.
Douglas Ford likely the one who carried the ball there and gets a gain of about 4. Maybe Jamari Teague on that one. About 3rd and 11. And carry in the backfield. We got a flag on the sideline. We'll have our first penalty of the game. Ronnie Perkins is the official, and he is repping the TSIAA mask tonight. And he's talking with Coach Sawyers about the situation. Taking the choice to decline or accept or not. Waiting for the word from Perkins.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 3rd down.
Illegal formation on the offense. That'll be a 5-yard
And definitely you take the penalty there. You don't risk the 4th in about 3 or 4 yards. You go ahead and you push them back to make it 3rd and 16. This way you're forcing them to have a big chunk play right here if they even want to consider going for it.
Ronnie Perkins, the referee, with Gary Nicholson in the backfield with him. Dave Connors, Rod Sims, Quincy Engel on the field as well, and Sedarian Mosley operating the clock in the press box. Perkins bringing out all the stops for the semifinal game, especially with it being the only semifinal occurring tonight. We'll have the best crew on site for the Division II and Division I championship 8 days from now.
Right now what they're talking about, they're just trying to figure out that they made the right, they spot the ball in the right position. Making sure that they marked it off from the right spot. And they did, because it's from the
Looks like you're right on that one. Just making sure they got the right spot on the ball there. So now third down, move it back 5 yards for third down and 16. And they're going to air it out to the left. Overthrew his target. That's Jacob Clark in the backfield. So Searcy, the intended target, but just overthrown there. And a 4th and out is likely the situation for Lighthouse on their first offensive drive.
And right there, they are going for it. They're not going to go ahead and punt it. They're going to go ahead and try and push the tempo here. But the reason there wasn't a penalty there for pass interference was the ball was way over his head and it was uncatchable.
What do you have to lose in the playoffs as the Lions will punt it away, and back to receive is Atkinson, one of the freshmen who was on that 2017 championship team, stumbles, and Kobe Sweat forces him to go to the 25-yard line, and we'll get our first offensive drive of the game from the Patriots. And this Patriots offense has been incredibly impressive.
Definitely. I mean, they've put up they're one of the better offenses in TSIAA, which is what makes them so dangerous. But this also is why 4 weeks of rest could hurt them, because they were on such a rhythm. The Sawyer was in great rhythm with his receivers, and you could see a little bit of miscommunications here.
We'll see on this first offensive drive how much their rhythm is getting back here as Crawley scrambles, going to air it out deep to the middle, just a step past his man. For Benjamin Sordo, the junior, if he had been one more step there, could have been gone for a touchdown.
Well, they took the shot deep to start off the game, and he was open. That was, I think he just slowed down just a little bit coming out of the break. But that was a good, if you're South Haven, you like that, because he was open. He just, overthrew the ball just a little. But the man was there.
Crawley, Atkinson, and Dang, the senior trio who was on that 2017 state championship game, as you got a carry on the right side here for Noah Starnes. Starnes is going to get a yard short of the first down marker for a 3rd and 1.
And now this is where Lighthouse has to win. They have to win every third down, every 3rd and short, every 3rd and long, because they can't afford to keep giving South Haven first down after first down after first down. What Lighthouse needs to do is they need to get off the field here, or get their defense off the field here, and then take their offense and methodically drive down the field.
Markup 2 yards short for a 3rd and 2 as Crawley is going to hang it back. Emmanuel Dang with the spin move, but that Lighthouse defense is going to stop him on 3rd down. And just like you said, Zach, that's what they're going to have to do to stay in this ball game.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they needed. Now they get a loss, and now here comes 4th down. So if South Haven punts it here, Lighthouse won that possession. They need to win every possession, because South Haven, when they get going, they are dangerous.
Special thanks to our producer, Jack Elwig, for getting the colors adjusted sooner than later on the team names. This is why, for those who don't know, I'm red, green, brown deficient, so that's why I don't trust myself doing those colors on the scoreboard, and just didn't get to it before he had his birthday dinner. And happy belated birthday to producer Jack Elwig as a 4th down. They're going to get movement there. Did they get him to jump off sides?
Dead ball foul, encroachment all against the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And they move the chains for a first down. A lucky break. They got the stop on 3rd down, but made up, I guess, for it in penalties. A lucky break for South Haven. And
they went with a hard count there. That's what they were wanting to do. It didn't matter if they get the 5 yards back and then went ahead and punted it. But they got to the line. They had Sawyer take a hard snap and then hard count, and he drew the defense off sides.
And another rush up the middle. It's Noah Starnes going to the outside. Noah Starnes has got room. Can he get the last man beat? He'll get stopped at about the 10-yard line inside, and this Patriots offense already firing on all cylinders with their first offensive drive.
And that was a great job there of Starnes getting to the outside. And then, I mean, I thought he was gone, but that was a good job of Lighthouse getting back and forcing him out of bounds at about the 8. But now this is where South Haven is the most dangerous, is inside the red zone. They're very efficient down here.
Noah Starnes only a junior for this Patriots offense. He's got another year, and it's been another great weapon for the Patriots on their 2020 campaign. Crawley is going to find a toss to the end zone. Touchdown. A reception by, I believe, Ivan Martinez.
Now watch this replay here. Crawley right here waits till the last second to throw this ball, and he finds him wide open in the middle of the end zone right here. As soon as he throws it, he gets hit, but he found his receiver wide open there.
So correction, Micah Hendricks, 85, got the reception there. He's not on the roster here. They had him as 19 on the roster. The sophomore getting the catch.
Pass is complete to number 44, Benjamin Soto.
Micah Hendricks with the first touchdown of this semifinal playoff, and two-point conversion is good for an 8-0. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics, visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. After a very impressive first drive for the Patriots, they will try to make another defensive stand. Let's see how the Lighthouse Lions respond here as the onside kick is immediately fallen on at the 39-yard line. They'll spot it at the 40, and this may be a situation that's benefiting the Lions in the long run, because if they can continue to just get these onside kicks at the 40-yard line, perfect field positioning to get an easier score, less field to march down.
Yes, but South Haven's defense is just so strong. I mean, they really need to score first. That could be a big turning point in the game already. South Haven go ahead and scoring first and putting the pressure on Lighthouse already.
As a carry up the middle, he's got the opening and a first down for the Lions. Jacob Clark, the junior, with a carry up the middle and a big movement of the sticks to the 28.
Okay, and that's what they're going to need more of. That's what they were looking for last drive to start off, but again, that miscommunication really hampered that drive. So, right there, getting the sticks to move for the first down of the game, if you're Lighthouse, gives you a little confidence that you are able to move against South Haven defense.
As the Lions face another 1st and 10, and a play as Teague tries to carry it up the middle and stopped by several Patriots.
And that was a great job there of going low on Teague. As we've seen many times, players go high on Teague, and he's hard to bring down. But watch right here as he splits through the middle. As Teague gets the handoff and splits through the middle, two players go straight down, take his knees out. That way, not his knees, his thighs. My bad. Takes his thighs out. That way, he isn't able to get that extra yardage.
And now on a 2nd and 10. Stop for no gain on that rush, as here's a carry by Clark. Clark up the middle has got an opening and gets through several Patriots players before being brought down inside the red zone, just outside of the 10-yard line.
And then there we go. There's Lighthouse moving the ball again efficiently. Now they have to score here. There is no doubt about it. They have to go ahead and try and regain the momentum.
So now inside the red zone, the Lions trying to get a score here. And, of course, the Lighthouse Lions, they were originally supposed to play the Ezel Harding Eagles last week, had to had to forfeit their game due to a COVID-19 situation, and Lions worked out fortunately for them, as they're now one game away from the championship. As a shovel pass in the backfield, weaving out a tackle there. Looks like it was Jamari Teague again.
And Clark looks for the pitch there, and Teague, it was almost a bad pitch, and Teague did a good job of handling it and then wasn't able to get any yards out of it. But what Lighthouse is doing really well right now is that they are grinding it out these first downs and running the clock. They are taking as much time as they can. That way, you're keeping South Haven's offense off of the field.
The more you control the tempo, as we've seen across the league this year, the more likely you have a chance to win. And although Lighthouse is down by 8, they're controlling the tempo right now. 2nd and 11. As Clark tosses it across the middle and incomplete, just a step above his intended target. Looks like Sam King.
And he had King there. He had King wide open off that route, but the throw was too high and behind him. So now you got this you have this 3rd and long. And last time, remember, they had a good 3rd and long play, but got brought back for penalty, and then it ended up hampering their drive. They have to score here. It can't be stressed enough. They have to score here.
If you go up by 2 touchdowns in this situation is what the Patriots could do, but Lighthouse on a 3rd and 11. As Clark is scrambling, he's going to be brought down in the backfield, close to being brought down before they stop it, and several Patriots just not giving him a chance to pass it.
And now here comes the replay on South Haven's defensive line does a good job of their penetration. As right here, as Clark tries to get outside, they did a good job of containing him, pushing him back towards the middle, and that their defense was just swarmed to Clark there as it becomes a long 4th down. And again, a must convert for Lighthouse.
So inside the 20-yard line, they'll go for it here on the 19, and a 4th and 15. Either get into the end zone or get just short of the goal line. As Clark has got pressure, toss it across the middle, overthrown, intended for Clark on the play, and it's going to turn it over on downs.
As that was another throw that was behind the intended receiver, and that was a good stop by South Haven. Lighthouse did march the ball down the field, but then South Haven stood tall, forcing them to turn the ball over on downs.
You talked about how it was crucial to get a score on this drive. While the Lions unable to do so, defensive stand might be the motivation they need.
Now, if South Haven scores here, they're already 2 scores. That was why it was so important for Lighthouse to score there.
Let's see what this Patriots offense can do on their 2nd drive. As Crawley will hand it off, and a carry up the middle by Isaac Taylor. The gain of about 2 yards.
And there you go. There's another. That's getting a positive gain on 1st down is so crucial. That way that you're not playing behind the sticks the whole time. You're always looking for that 2-3 yards. That's what South Haven does good. They do a good job to get them in 2nd and 3rd and manageables. That way, they do have the option to maybe go for it on a 4th down.
The senior Jared Campbell getting a tackle in on that last play, and 2nd and 8 here for the Patriots. This time they send Taylor out to the right. Crawley with a quick pass. Left side, weaving through the defense. Looks like Drew Atkinson gets it for a 1st down to the 30-yard line.
Right there. Watch Atkinson move this pile at the end of this play here. He first gets hit around 5 yards short as the screenplay right here. Watch Atkinson right here. He first gets hit 5 yards away, and he drags 3 defenders to the 1st down marker. That's a good 2nd effort there by Atkinson to move the chains.
And just outside of the 30-yard line, this Patriots offense is looking absolutely stellar, even with the 4 weeks rest. And down, almost a delay game, and Crawley scrambling in the backfield. He's brought down. A sack made by Noe.
And right there, what happened was the snap was too high for Crawley. So by the time Crawley brings down the snap, he already has 3-4 defenders as Lighthouse brought the blitz there. So Crawley really didn't have anywhere to go. So now it's the 2nd and long. Now if you're Lighthouse, you got to get off the field. I know we're talking about Lighthouse a lot, but it's so important for them right now to get off the field.
Make it a 2nd down and a quarter of the field as the Lions try to make a defensive stand here. Crawley, under pressure, gets the toss off. The catch is made by Starnes. Noah Starnes has got opening, a 1st down, and gets past his man. How about Noah Starnes, the junior, a touchdown for the Patriots?
There is a penalty flag, but I think that may have been
it's going to be on the
roughing
Lions.
the passer.
It's on the Lions, and they're gonna give it a touchdown.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. That penalty is declined. The result of the play. Here will be the Patriots.
Now watch this play right here. Again, Lighthouse brings the pressure, but they do the little screen pass to the outside, and there's just no one back for Lighthouse. And great blocking downfield by South Haven's receivers, and now it's already 14-0.
And with it now 14-0, the Patriots have a chance to make it 16-0, and quick toss right side incomplete. 14-0 with 1:27 left to go in the first quarter. The Patriots doing well in this 2020 TSIAA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com. So the Lions managed to get a stop on the 2-point conversion attempt to make it 14-0. As the Lions have yet to respond to the 2-score lead. And onside kick again, the Lions fall on it with great field advantage, and it's up to them to capitalize on it.
So what Lighthouse did good last time was they moved the ball effectively down the field, and they took a big chunk of the clock off, but they weren't able to capitalize it into points. So it didn't matter that they took a big chunk off, because and then they gave South Haven the ball with up 8-0 and with the chance to go up 2 scores. So what they need to do is
looks like a timeout called. I believe a timeout called by the Lions. So after the onside kick, they're going to think it over with about minute 25 left to go in the first quarter. Spencer Thompson, Zachary Lone, and Jack Helwig bringing the action here from Springfield, Tennessee at Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Park in Springfield. We got a long schedule ahead of us, my friend. We got tonight's game. We head straight down to Panama City Beach. Semifinals at 12 and 3, and then Sunday we've got the consolation and national championship games for the NHSA. It should be fun.
good teams down there too. It's gonna be fun. Every game's gonna be a good game.
Gets us out of the cold weather that's starting to settle into Tennessee as well.
Oh, it's gonna feel nice down there.
So Lighthouse, 2 timeouts remaining in the first half as the Patriots defense comes back onto the field. See what they can do against this Lighthouse offense. So far they've stopped them. And on a 1st and 10. First and 10 here as carry up the middle, but
It's going to be a false
flags
start.
fly. Likely a false start with a dead play. And get the call from Perkins. Flag is waved off. No flag. It's a first and 10.
So what I'm guessing is I think they were going to call it a false start, but I think they came together as a group and said he didn't move, so they went ahead and they waved it off.
So first and 10 here for Lighthouse as a carry to the right side. Dang, chasing him down. And Clark with the carry, a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. Or excuse me, 2 or 3 yards short of the first down marker. And they'll spot it for a second down and 1.
That's what they're doing a good job of getting. They're getting a good. So what they're doing is they're doing a good job of getting their playmakers out in space. So with them getting their playmakers out in space, it's harder for South Haven to tackle just one-on-one.
So carry up the middle and be a first down and more. So like to apologize. We were just told that EJ Nesbitt is wearing number 3 tonight, and the question is which number is Jacob Clark wearing? So we don't know, but at least for now, 3 is EJ Nesbitt.
As I think they won't call a play before the first quarter ends.
And they're going to let time expire. So far, the story of the first half has been the Patriots, but can Lighthouse capitalize on their third offensive drive? End of 12, 14-0, South Haven in the TSIAA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com. Started the second quarter for this TSIAA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com. 14-0, the Patriots lead at home as the Lions carry it up the middle. It's a carry by Teague as he's trying to push the pile, and they finally stop him for forward progress with a gain of 8 yards.
That was a good job by Teague to hold on the ball there because South Haven's second and third wave of defenders came in trying to strip the ball. And that's what they were doing. South Haven was holding them up, waiting for the officials to blow the play dead. But while that was happening, you had players trying to take the ball away from Teague. So that was a good job of getting the 6-7 yards that he did get, and then not trying to go ahead and get too much.
Of course, the Lions are. Of course, the Lions, they were expected to be against Iza Arne as a toss across the middle, almost intercepted by Emmanuel Dang, just couldn't pull it in.
So what they did there, they tried to throw it with Nesbitt there. So they ran that little slant, and Nesbitt threw it without checking the middle of the field, and Dang had it right in his hands, almost gift wrapped for him, but he just wasn't able to catch it there.
This Lions team, a lot of people not talking about them going into the playoffs just because of what they've seen in the regular season, and now they're in a chance where they win this game, they're on to May Flanders Field next week against Franklin Christian. They got to get it done because it's tough to get a victory on the road in the postseason. Riverside did it last year. Of course, Lancaster did it this year. It's a tough situation to go through as shovel pass, and there's a flag in the backfield, maybe a forward pass. It was going to Jamari Teague, and
I think that is holding.
Yeah, we'll get the call from Perkins in a moment. It looked like the signal he initially gave was holding on the offensive line. So Perkins talking it over and good call.
Holding. Offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat third down.
So what looked like it was going to be a good play is turned over.
And there it is going. There it is again, as that holding gives them another 3rd and long. They aren't. This isn't what Lighthouse is good at. Lighthouse is good. What needs to be done? Lighthouse needs to methodically drive down the field and take as much time off the clock as they can, but they can't do it if they keep getting themselves in 3rd and longs.
Facing now a 3rd down and 15. This Lighthouse offense is going to try to air it out. Nesbitt airs it out towards the middle and just in the hand of his receiver, incomplete. And it's intended there. It's intended for Searcy.
If that ball was thrown a second later, that was a touchdown pass. But because of the pressure that South Haven brought, Nesbitt had to throw it and get rid of it quick. But see, this is what the problem is. Now they have to go for it on 4th and 16, 17 at the 39-yard line. Almost put in South Haven, if they don't get it, in prime position to get another touchdown drive.
Lighthouse will still go for it. A muff snap there as it's carried up the middle. Nesbitt staying on his feet, trying to get a 1st down. He's going to be short by about 2 yards, but it at least pins South Haven a little bit deeper into their own territory. Almost looked like Nesbitt had it.
He almost did. He fell, ended up about 2 yards short as we're going to watch in this replay. But a good job right here is of Nesbitt realizing this 4th down, picking the ball up, and then just trying to get all the yards he can. That's kind of like a mini punt. They put the ball down at the 24-yard line now instead of the 39. So that's a 15-yard play there. So that's kind of almost as long as the Titans punt last night.
So a turnover on downs, and the Patriots are trying to put another score in to potentially put this game away. Still plenty of time left in the first half. Crawley looking for his options. Got a man across the middle, airs it out. It's intercepted. Lighthouse turns it over like that. Searcy with the pick.
Well, that's a good job by Searcy as you're going to watch in this replay. As Crawley thinks that Searcy is beat. Right here, coming off the top of the route. Searcy undercuts the route there and does a good job of reading the ball. And now Lighthouse gets the ball back. And if they score here, now they are right back in it. That was a huge play by Searcy there.
So now with that interception, one of the plays that instead of it potentially going a 3-score deficit for Lighthouse, it's now only 2 scores as Nesbitt tries to take it up the middle. Make that 7-8 yards.
And Lighthouse, they are doing a good job of moving the ball against South Haven, but they're shooting themselves in the foot with holdings, with false starts, with illegal formations, stuff like that, just stuff that are just mental errors.
And unfortunately, in this late in the season, you hope that those get corrected. But of course, Lighthouse did have a game that they had to cancel with the Tennessee Heat a few weeks ago. That may have affected the rhythm of the school team as Nesbitt is surrounded by the defensive line of the Patriots. Nesbitt trying to get another quarterback keep, but it's nothing doing.
Nesbitt really had no time here as South Haven does a good job of penetrating from all sides on this offensive line right here. Like Nesbitt tries to bring it down and run towards his left, but they built a wall right there, and Nesbitt didn't have any choice but to go down. So here comes again, another 3rd and long. what they need is they need to get 4 or 5 yards, get themselves in a 4th and manageable.
A 3rd and long, but not as long as they've had in the previous drives. A 3rd and 7. Just another deficit for them to overcome. Nesbitt across the middle and almost picked off and incomplete. So Blevins the intended target.
Blevins right there. Sorry, Spencer, didn't mean to cut you off. Blevins right there got a tip of it. If not, that ball is going to be intercepted. But here we go, another 4th and long. They keep getting themselves in these situations. They need to figure out a way to, when they do get these 3rd and short, don't get unnecessary holdings or anything. Because where they're getting the holdings from, they're getting the holdings from the opposite side of the line of where the play's going.
As punted away by Teague, and this will bounce down as Atkinson picks it up. Right side, he's going to weave through. Atkinson finds an opening, finally brought down at about the 32-yard line as the Patriots start out with decent field advantage this time.
As that was a good job. He recognized that the ball was bouncing, and he had time to look up, saw that that Southaven was doing a good job of blocking downfield. So he picks the ball up and gets whatever he can. So they go from having the ball at the 10 to having the ball at the 33-yard line.
First and 10 as a handoff by Crawley to Starnes. Noah Starnes to the left side. Shimmies a little bit there and tries to push for the first down, maybe a few inches short.
As watch this move Starnes makes on the outside here towards the end of the play. Here it comes. Right here. Stutter steps and then has makes the man miss and then goes ahead and gets the 2nd and short. That was a good move there by Starnes.
The stutter step helps him gain a few extra yards there and short of the first down marker by about 1. Across midfield for the Patriots. 2nd and 1. Attempt to carry up the middle, and that defense weaves through. Nothing doing for Crawley.
There is a
flag down.
They did get it high. This might be a face mask.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Southaven.
And you mentioned it several times here, Zachary. It's the penalties are what may kill Lighthouse's chances of staying in this game.
And these penalties are unnecessary penalties. Like right there, you have Crawley in the backfield. There's no need to wrap him up high. Just go ahead and just make sure you get him down right there. You have 3 guys right there. There's no need to go ahead and bring him down by his face mask.
Let's make it now a 1st and 10. Crawley, quick toss to his best friend Emmanuel Dang to the right side, getting inside the 10. Dang. Touchdown. Almost looked like from the distance that he may have stepped out of bounds there, but a touchdown for Southaven.
So this is the second time that they have a stop on 2nd or 3rd down, or making a long 3rd down, and then they get a needless penalty to extend the drive. And in the very next play, Southaven scores. So Southaven is doing a good job on capitalizing on the opportunities and the mistakes of Lighthouse right now, which a good team does. A great team does.
2-point conversion attempt coming up. Lighthouse is holding them to only a 50% 2-point conversion rate, and now make that 33% of their 2-point conversions being made with now a 20-0 lead. About 6:41 left to go in the first half. This 2020 TSIAA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. Kickoff here for the Patriots as they lead 20-0. And this is the second time the Patriots have hosted a playoff game since joining the formerly MTAC, now TSIAA. Hosted, of course, last year in the first round, took the loss to Riverside Christian, and of course, they won on the road against the Webb School in 2017. The rest is history in that regard. So the Patriots, of course, right now, they haven't won a playoff game at home to this point, but very poised right now to take that first home playoff win.
Definitely, and now they're up 3 scores, and this is where they usually start getting into their rhythm. This is where, if you're Lighthouse, you wanted to be up by a score or 2, but now except the opposite is happening. So now Lighthouse is going to have to go up tempo and
as the kickoff is going to go out of bounds, and likely they'll place it on the 30-yard line. Sometimes we get a penalty announcement for this stuff, sometimes we don't. And probably not on this one. They'll just place it at the 25. I believe that's probably what they're discussing right now is the placement of the ball because it's not a 50 by 100. And here's Ronnie.
Okay, here we go, 25.
And they'll place it on the 25-yard line. So this Lighthouse offense will, every time they've gotten decent field advantage after a kickoff, for the most part, has been because of onside kicks. But the field advantage is there. It's just a matter of if they could capitalize on it, which they haven't been able to do so in 3 offensive drives.
But see, like we said, they're killing themselves. They have had multiple, as they are actually going to re-kick.
5-yard.
Yep, Lighthouse elected to re-kick. You're right.
It's a 5-yard penalty from the original spot that they kicked from, so they'll be kicking from the 25-yard line. Maybe get them even better field position. But Lighthouse just keeps killing themselves. They're self-inflicted penalties, and they have led to directly 14 points. So really what they need to do is they need to go into halftime, and they need to try and make sure that they're correcting these mistakes. Because when you're playing a team like South Haven, you can't make these penalties and expect to be even in the game.
Especially in a situation where as it bounces and South Haven, there's a flag down.
So the South Haven player touched the ball while he was out of bounds. So
you have better eyes than I do. I didn't see.
So
him
because he was out of bounds, when he picked the ball up, he was setting out of bounds. He's then out of bounds.
That may actually not even be the touching out of bounds, at least what we're hearing. It might be a block. Might be a block in the back. We'll get the call from Perkins.
There's no lead. He didn't target.
Had a personal foul, illegal block on the kicking team. Contact occurred in the free blocking zone prior to going 10 yards. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Great explanation by Ronnie.
Well, never mind. I guess I was wrong. I thought he touched the ball out of bounds, but I guess not. So basically, like Ronnie said, great analysis there. So he touched the ball. There's an area in high school football where you can't block and you can't make contact like for a block. And right then, South Haven made contact with a eligible receiver from, well, an eligible player to catch the onside kick from Lighthouse. So now Lighthouse will get the ball at the 25-yard line. Now, this is the area where they have to score. All of a sudden, if they score here, they're back to a 2-score game.
We'd like to thank all 50 of you watching this TSIAA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com. The Patriots and the Lions colliding to see who gets a trip to Mayflanders Field, just about 30 minutes away from here at MLK Junior Memorial Park. Whoever gets a trip over there for the true state championship for the TSIAA. With 6:36 left to go in the first half, the Patriots leading at home 20-0. As a high snap, Nesbitt tries to make something nothing, toss it to the right side. No receiver in the area. There is a flag down in the backfield. The question is, intentional grounding or maybe something there.
I think it could be intentional grounding, if not a late hit possibility on the quarterback.
Yeah, possibly a late hit. You're right. Wait to see what we get from Perkins and his crew to sort this out. And
intentional grounding on the offense. 5 yards from the spot from where the pass was thrown. Lost him down, second down.
So it was intentional grounding there. It looked from our angle, it could have been a late hit there is what he threw the flag on, but threw it immediately. Sometimes as a referee, you usually check sometimes with the side official to say, was that intentional grounding? Didn't have to check it on that one. That was pretty clear.
It didn't even make to the line of scrimmage, and there wasn't an eligible receiver in the area, so that was a pretty textbook call.
As another high snap, as Nesbitt airs it out to the left side. His man gets back to it. What a catch. A reception and a first down, pushes a little bit further, and trying to see who got the reception there, but moves the chains for a first down. I believe it was Searcy.
That was a great job of Searcy to adjusting the ball, because Nesbitt threw it to his back shoulder to where Searcy had to come back for the ball, and he did. And then Searcy does a good job of catching the ball and then going ahead and lowering his shoulder and keep moving his feet and gets the first down. So now they get a 1st and 10 from the now they get 1st and 10 in the 14 where they finally was able to overcome another penalty, self-inflicted penalty.
And Searcy moves it all the way down to about the 15-yard line with that catch as Nesbitt weaves through the middle. He's got some space. He extends it for a 1st and goal.
Touchdown. That's a touchdown.
I'm used to a 50 by 100. Touchdown. Lighthouse is on the board.
Let's see if we got the end of that play. Yeah, it's right here. So he goes down and he extends. Oh, he might have been short.
They're rolling it a touchdown on the field. And, 6 points on the board for.
So his knee goes down, then he stretches it out. He looks like he was actually a little short there.
Maybe. He's not running the rail at all. They're gonna go with it and roll it a touchdown. 2-point conversion attempt. Nesbitt gets into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good. 20-8. Lighthouse gets on the board first. They made it a 2-score game here in this TSIAA semifinal. On the 30-yard line, a kickoff here for the Lions, their first kickoff of the game, and we'll see if the Lions can get another defensive stand here as they shave the Patriots lead down to only 14 points. as it's a low kick and immediately caught. Great catch by
So right.
Keaton Kim with the immediate catch.
So here we go as we watch the replay. So what the kick there was designed to do was to bounce off of the South Haven defender and then bounce back. But watch this, great catch there. Way to get down. Good job getting to his knees and securing the ball. Instead of that way, there is no bounce off of him. So South Haven gets the ball at about the 38-yard line.
Keaton Kim immediately catching the ball at about the 38-yard line is where they'll spot it, and we'll see how this South Haven offense does. See how they respond to the touchdown here, as Lighthouse was unable to respond to their first 2 touchdowns, responded to the third. 1st and 10, a high snap as Crawley loses it. It's loose in the backfield, and it is picked up by the Patriots. Brought down for a huge loss, and great awareness by Starnes to keep it from turning over.
So right here, this is another snap over Crawley's head. But watch Starnes as he recognizes his overhead turn and goes and he picks it up. And it was a legal tackle there because he got him around the shoulder pads. So now they got 5 minutes to play. If you're Lighthouse after this, and if you stop him here for a minimal gain, you got to start calling your timeouts. As it's second and 20?
And more than a quarter of the field. Well, probably a quarter of the field, but 2nd and 20 is Crawley in the backfield. They reverse it. It's got some open space on the left side as a stiff arm there. And nothing doing as that was a carry by Atkinson and gets back a decent amount of yardage to about the 29-yard line. So make it about a 3rd and 15, maybe a third and
this is a 3rd and
20, maybe
around
3rd and 18, something like that.
That was a great job, a great open field tackle there by the Lighthouse defender, because if he gets past him, then it's a touchdown.
Can this Lighthouse defense stop the Patriots from getting their lead back to 3 touchdowns? That's the question. And with a 3rd down, it's like you mentioned, stopping them on 3rd down is a big thing here. But Crawley knows how to air it out as he gets a quick toss. There's Starnes. Starnes is going to get to a 4th down and 5, so at least gets it across midfield. And question for the offensive coordinator, Michael Crawley, is what do you do on a 4th and 5 here? As we got an injury on the field. It looks like it might be Starnes who's down, and the medical staff is going to head out to him. We'll step aside for an entry timeout. So we're not going to show you the replay because what we saw from that was just unfortunate. We almost thought that Starnes would not be able to walk on his own feet, but he, as the coaching staff was telling us during the press box, he is tough. He's shown adversity trying to help lead his team. He was having a fantastic game, but he's probably going to have to be looked at because it was not pretty.
That would just his ability to walk off the field there after what we saw was Actually, I didn't even think he was going to be able to get up. That's some
Nah,
great
yeah.
determination there.
I didn't either. He's now sitting on the bench. He's likely going to have that looked at, and that's tough, especially going into actually the championship next week. But it's now 4th and 5 as movement there and flags fly.
Dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty. The result of the play, first down.
So they move it up 5 yards, and again, that's the second time this game where it's been a 4th down or a 3rd down situation, and the Lions got encroachment off there to make it a first down.
That drive, it was 2nd and 31. That right there, that 4-down sequence, and right there, Lighthouse wasn't able to get off the field on the 4th down when they forced a 4th and medium 4th and long.
So now on the 33-yard line, a new set of downs for the Patriots from the encroachment, and carry here for the Patriots, and Taylor with the carry gets it for a gain of about 4 yards.
As now, what Southampton's going to do is they're going to run this clock and not let Lighthouse get the ball back to start before the half is over, because they get the ball to start the second half as well. So there's a chance that they can go up by 4 scores before Lighthouse touches the ball again.
Patriots just continue to march down the field, even with their teammate in Starnes still on the bench, as now faces a 2nd down and 6. Crawley airs it out in the middle, and it's caught for the touchdown. Benjamin Sordo to the house.
Or they'll just take a shot right there, right down the middle, as Sordo is at the bottom of your screen, if I'm not mistaken. No, he's not. He was in the tight end position. He faked it. He faked like he was going out, and then cut back in, and then just beat the Lighthouse defender. As now it's 26-8.
I tell you, PA announcing, nobody does it better than Corey Terrell.
Oh no, he's done great.
You can hear the enthusiasm and all that. He's keeping the Patriots hyped up here as a toss across the middle, making the touchdown and making the 2-point conversion is Benjamin Sordo. Increases the lead to 20 points as the Patriots try to get it wrapped up here going into the end of the first half. So a good sign for the moment, at least, is that Noah Starnes is up and he is walking around. He's still talking to the trainer to see if he can get cleared, as a line drive kick is fallen on by the Lions at the 34-yard line.
And it just shows the determination that Starnes has as he was trying to lobby himself going back in between the breaks. And if you saw what we saw in the replay, it didn't even look like he was going to be able to get up. But the thing with those injuries is he still has his adrenaline going and everything. Those injuries seem to sometimes hurt more later on in the night when your adrenaline goes away.
So the Lions down by 20. They've got a minute 41 to work with to march down the field and get a score. Especially the Patriots receive for the second half. So a defensive stop is what the Patriots want here, as it's wide to the right, incomplete. And pass intended there for Nesbitt.
As they put Nesbitt out wide there instead of in the quarterback position, they were just trying to get Nesbitt into space. So that's been their offense has been what's working for them so far. Get Nesbitt the ball and just get him into space and then try and see what Nesbitt can do for you. As Nesbitt's been having a great night so far.
And at least with it being an incomplete pass, it stops the clock there instead of him being in the middle. I believe Lighthouse they only have 2 timeouts to work with. So have to march down the field and try to get a score before the end of the first half. Second and 10. Same formation as the previous play. As a keep up the middle. It's a carry there by Searcy.
As they're going to have to try and get to the clock. Oh, no. As Searcy is down. Holding.
Talk about another unfortunate injury to see. And Searcy is going to be looked at by the training staff again and will step aside again. So for the time being, it looks like Colby Searcy had to be carried off to the sideline, and have to look at him. That's another tough loss for Lighthouse to have Searcy a junior. So at least next year he'll be a senior, and hopefully nothing too altering as he tries to stay tough for the Lions.
And what's good is he is putting pressure on it. So that is always a good sign, something you always want to see, especially with injuries that look like it could be around the knee area.
Now a 3rd and 6 as it's a carry up the middle, and this time by Nesbitt. And will move the chains for a first down. And they do stop the clock anytime there's a first down, but they got to hurry up to the line if they want to have a sense of urgency here. As clock's winding down, about 45 seconds.
And they still have 2 timeouts. Are they not going to?
Yep,
okay, there
there's
it
one.
is.
41.2.
But 10 seconds ran off the clock. By the time from the time that they spotted the ball to the time that he called the timeout, that's 10 seconds that they won't be able to have back at the end of the half. No, at the end of this, and this is a chance to get yourself back into a 2-score game. This drive, these last 41 seconds here, if you're Lighthouse, is a must score.
And one more timeout remains for Lighthouse as they try to get a score in here to shave off the 20-point lead to another 14 or 12. And in this situation, for the Lions, it's going to be a tough uphill battle to climb. Coming up on the Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay halftime report, we'll give you our thoughts and analysis of this game, and a little bit, and possibly a little thoughts in the NHSA tournament we're going to be covering this whole weekend, and that's all coming up on the Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay halftime report.
Another reason why Lighthouse should be hurrying to get to the line every play is South Haven gets the ball to start the second half. It's not their ball to start the second half.
Sense of urgency. First and 10. And high snap and tripped up behind the line of scrimmage is Nesbitt again. Several Patriots players surrounding him, including Alex Martinez. And no timeout being called here, so they're just going to let the clock run.
Sorry about that. The picture went out for that play. So what happened was the snap was a little low there to Nesbitt, and Nesbitt wasn't able to shake away from 2 of the South Haven defenders, so he was tackled for a loss, and that's going to take us to the halftime, actually.
Unless they could get the snap off before the end of the first half. Yep, they'll get one more play off. as it's aired out to the left, and it's picked off. It's an interception by Isaac Taylor. Can Isaac Taylor take it to the house? He's got one man to beat. Isaac Taylor, incredible touchdown, a pick 6 for the Patriots.
Let's see if we can get any of that. There is no flags there. So we're getting this return here. As it looked like Lighthouse's players, they just gave up on the play. And Southaven, he was just able to walk into the end zone after he got past that last Lighthouse defender.
Wow. Just towards the end, trying to Hail Mary it out. They had a quick snap there, and this is why the Patriots are dangerous going into this championship game.
They're well-rounded in their offense, defense, and special teams. I mean, their special teams, you haven't seen much of it tonight besides that one return, but their special teams is probably one of the most dangerous parts of their team.
2-point conversion attempt. Crawley tossed it left side and couldn't make the diving catch to the ground. Incomplete. And 32-8 is the score at halftime. Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay halftime report coming up as the Patriots are trying to seal their ticket to get a rematch of their first game of the season. Welcome to the Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay halftime report, everybody. I'm Spencer Thompson. That's Zachary Lone. I'm on day 13 now of No Shave November. He obviously broke it, so we'll.
On the first day of November.
yeah, you broke it. But have you shaved since then?
Yeah, I actually shaved today, so.
Okay, 15 minutes on the halftime clock, a 34-8 score right now. And it's not that Lighthouse hasn't had the chance to go up on Southaven, and they've had so many chances to get in this game. It's just the little mistakes are what are getting them. And
they're not even mistakes that Southaven is necessarily causing. They're just mental mistakes. For instance, there was that intentional grounding. There was the face mask penalty that was going to bring up a 3rd and about 7. And then when they do have those big penalties, like it either kills their drive or the very next play is a huge play for Southaven. So it like deflates them. Like for instance, on that Hail Mary, they threw the Hail Mary, and there was only one player from Lighthouse who actually made the effort to go ahead and try and tackle him short, because right now it's a whole different game right now, being down 3 scores and being down 4 scores, especially when you come in as an underdog. Because we were talking coming in, you don't want to go down 1 to 2 scores, but the psychological difference between going down 3 scores and 4 scores is completely different.
And for Southaven, they've just been incredible on the offensive and defensive side. What do the Patriots have to do to close it out here and seal their ticket to the state championship?
Basically, just do what they did the first half. Go ahead and, they didn't even methodically drive the ball down the field. They got whatever they wanted to on offense, except for that one drive. But just every time Southaven's got the ball, they've scored. So what Lighthouse needs to do is, if they want a chance, they basically have to get the onside kick to start second half. Go down and get the momentum, because all the momentum right now is all in favor of Southaven.
Southaven's doing pretty well. That's your Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay halftime report. We got about 13 minutes left on the game clock. We'll get it ready for you as we head to the second half. You're watching the 2020 TSIAA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com.
Go.
Welcome to the second half of the 2020 TSIAA semifinal, presented by Kingdom.com. Spencer Thompson, Zachary Lone, Jack Helwig bringing you the action from Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Park in Springfield, Tennessee. And the ball is going to be at the 36-yard line in Lions territory because that onside kick did not go far enough.
It acts like a punt down.
Very much so. And the Patriots leading here by 26 points. If they get if they have to get 2 scores here to enact the mercy rule, but at least for now they have a 26-point lead over the Lions. And in the past, this rivalry has been intense. In 2017, the game essentially determined who was going to get into the playoffs because of it being only 2 teams. As we'll get Ronnie Perkins. Let's get a zoom in on his mask.
I think they have 9 on the field.
We do. We have 9.
Dead ball foul, substitution infraction on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
How about the mask on Ronnie Perkins? Got the TSIAA face covering for this year.
You got to represent when you can, right?
Yeah, representing the conference, and there it is.
But going back to what you were talking about this game, Lighthouse has moved the ball pretty effectively. But when they do get in positions where they can score, where they need to score, they get costly penalties. So for holding, so for intentional grounding, stuff like that, where then they're all of a sudden out of the range to score.
The penalties have certainly affected them throughout this as Crawley airs it out to the left side. Atkinson couldn't pull it in. So close. Atkinson just unable to pull it in.
Right there, Atkinson took his eye off the ball before he completely secured it, as he had 15 yards of separation there. He just ran past the safety of Lighthouse and just really tried to just settle there, and then Crawley put it right on the money. He wasn't really able to bring it in.
So now on a 2nd down and 15 after the incompletion, Crawley looking to air it out again. He's going to do it to the right side to his tight end, and the catch this time is made by Hendricks with the reception. Micah Hendricks with the reception. The sophomore getting another pull in there, and they move it down the field.
Look at where Crawley puts this ball, though. As right there. He puts it to the outside shoulder to where only his receiver can catch it. That's a perfectly placed ball. Because if he wasn't going to catch it, then no one was going to catch it.
And now just outside of the red zone, this Patriots offense looking to solidify their lead even more as a catch is made by Atkinson. As Drew Atkinson weaves through the defense. Touchdown, Patriots.
As we're going to watch on this replay, Atkinson just runs.
And flag after the play as well. So,
as it looked like it was taunting, potentially. If it's taunting, then it's a 15-yard penalty.
Added to the kickoff.
Unless it happened while it was on the play. Oh, the play was still going on.
Touchdown is good. After dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, charge to White. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Absolutely right. Assessed on the kickoff, and good thing there was no ejection on that.
As we're going to actually watch the replay after the two-point conversion, I don't know if we got what happened on the replay itself. I personally didn't see what happened.
Crawley looking for the two-point conversion attempt, scrambles and weaves his way.
There is a flag that is going to be holding, so I think it's going to be a 10-yard penalty.
And waiting to see if it's on the defense or not. Here's Perkins.
Nope. Block below the waist. The offense. Team spotted the foul. Repeat the try.
So chop block.
So they do move it back on that one.
Oh, James, it's a horrible call. James, it's a horrible call. Horrible call.
And moves it back to about the 13-yard line.
They called it on Brady. He's not listening to me.
As
And so the whistle's blown. And Perkins heading over. Sawyer's going to try to argue this call.
Horrible call.
Don't know if we don't think we got a replay on that one. I know we got one on the touchdown, but
here, we'll go back to the touchdown here.
yeah, we'll go back to the touchdown.
He didn't have his headset on.
As here we go. As Atkinson just finds a soft spot in the middle of the defense here. So he stops right there and then starts heading towards the middle of the field. And let's see if we can get what happened.
It
That
may
right
have
there.
been the toss of
Yeah,
the
he
ball
tossed
like
it ball
that,
up to himself.
Hey, terrible call. Video shows it's terrible call.
So Perkins and Sawyer's conversation, nothing doing on that. And it's now another attempt at the two-point conversion as Crawley loses the ball as he's about to toss it, but picks it back up. Crawley's still scrambling and finally slips down at the 20-yard line. So two-point conversion attempt is no good. So make that now 48, a 32-point lead. And with 11 minutes left to go in the third, the 2020 TSIAA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics, visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. So kickoff here for the Patriots on their own 15 with that penalty enforced, and it goes up high and to the 40-yard line.
And Southaven has the ball.
Southaven recovers it. The lack of ball security there, unfortunately, and the Patriots have a turnover on downs, a chance to get the clock rolling.
As I couldn't see what really happened there. So here we go. So it was a high kickoff, and they just waited for it to bounce, and then the Southaven player put his head where the Lighthouse player was trying to secure the ball and poke the ball out.
Who got it? I didn't see who got it.
And now 1st and 10 on the 39-yard line. It's the Patriots, 6 points here, gets the mercy rule. 1st and 10, Crawley hands it off up the middle. Emmanuel Deng, he hasn't been as active tonight, but he weaves through and gets a first down and a little bit more still on his feet inbounds. How many tackles can this man avoid? Deng to the house. Touchdown.
What? Hey, play. What? Look here. There is 4 Lighthouse players that he shrugs off 3. 4. Stiff-armed 2 Lighthouse players. as there is a Lighthouse player down.
He's over at about the 35-yard line. Not sure who it is, but step aside for an injury timeout. But incredible work from Emmanuel Dang. EJ Nesbitt, the injured Lighthouse Lion on the play. He was looked at by the medical staff and still being evaluated over on the far sideline. And the Patriots trying to get a 2-point conversion here. They already have enough points for the mercy rule, but just trying to solidify their lead a little bit more. As the handoff up the middle. 2-point conversion is no good.
Wow.
46-8 the score right now with about 10:30 left to go in the third. And let's go back one more time to that play from Emmanuel Dang. Just incredible stuff.
If you look at it right here, there's 4 players within 2 yards of him. Shrugs off the first one, then jukes back, and then no one was around him, as no one was going to catch him in the open field either. As I'm pretty sure every Lighthouse player there had a chance to take Dang down.
Every one of them.
In the silver division, Justin and Lindsay Head, Smoking Oaks Organic Farm, Nicole Gardner, Southern Roots Realty.
Spencer Thompson, Zachary Lone, and Jack Helwig bringing the action here from MLK Junior Park. We head straight from here down to Panama City Beach with James Shannon. Special thanks to all 42 of you watching right now. Be sure to tune in for the national tournament for 8-man football. We'll be covering the semis tomorrow at 12-3, and 12-3 on Monday. We'll be covering the consolation and the national championship.
For the Patriots, number 16, Alex Martinez.
The key now for South Haven is just making sure that you don't sustain any big injuries going into the next week's championship game.
Of course, the injury earlier that looked bad on tape, Noah Starnes is standing up on the sideline. Don't think they'll let him into the game, as that is a touchback. And Lions have some decent field advantage here. And it's not been an easy route for the Patriots on the year. Of course, you look at you look at how their schedule worked out in 2020, especially after everything happened with COVID-19.
Lighthouse called a timeout.
Lighthouse has a stoppage on the field. But you look at South Haven's schedule. They changed it. They had three bye weeks off. They had their first game against Franklin Christian. Everyone knows about the 18-0 lead they had going into the half, and then just 23-18. And that's, if it holds here, that was a preview for the championship earlier in the year that we called. But they had Franklin Christian. They traveled to Lighthouse, traveled to Bowling Green, hosted the Colts, hosted Sacred Heart, and then Riverside Classical. And they were set to host Classical, but canceled due to COVID, and hosting another game here. So they've had a long stretch of about four home games at this point. They haven't had to travel as much. So the schedule has been interesting for South Haven, but ever since that first game against Franklin Christian, they knew that losing was not an option.
Definitely. So going back to the Franklin Christian game, really in the second half, Emmanuel Dank, who had that great first half, he just looked out of gas the whole second half. Just they weren't able to move the ball. But what you're seeing tonight from Crawley and Atkinson and the other key pieces of this South Haven roster, I mean, they're no longer as dependent on Emmanuel Dank as they were at the beginning of the year, and that's great.
As a high snap and a flag on the far side. We got another Patriot who looks like he was down for a second. He was just pushing out there, and this flag on the far side, Perkins trying to sort it out. And they got it. Talking to Coach Sawyers to make sure that discussing it with Sawyers. And
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
Holding on the offense.
So they decided to do a 1st and 20.
I forgot that the clock is running at this point. So, of course, right there, you're going to go ahead and push him back because of the positive yards that was gained by Lighthouse there. And this is another.
As carry up the middle results in a loss of about 3 yards. You were saying?
As Lighthouse all game, they haven't been able to. When they do get stuff moving, it's one play it's one step forward and then 2 steps back. They kept shooting themselves in the foot, and they just really worked their way out of the game. And South Haven has controlled it. I mean, from start to finish, it's been South Haven's game. But Lighthouse was in position to score early on in the game. But for the intentional grounding and the holdings, it really came back to bite them.
As the Lions trying to carry up the middle, Raymond Jin getting in on the tackle there, and the 3rd down as Jamari Teague just not able to get anything done for this Lighthouse offense.
As another 3rd and, what is this, 15? 3rd and 15, they just keep themselves in long situations. And against a team that's as good as South Haven is, coming into, you knew that Lighthouse was about to play a near-perfect game. And they weren't. They kept shooting, like I said multiple times, they kept shooting themselves in the foot. And that has cost them big time here.
Third down and 17 here. As a carry by Teague again, left side. Tries to stretch out the ball there. Won't get back to the original 1st and 10 marker, but leaves it now to a 4th down and 12. And you have to, I'm not a superstitious person, but, and of course the office joke, I'm a little stitious, but not a superstitious person here, but Friday the 13th has not been favoring Lighthouse Christian School Lions. It's just been a nightmare since that first touchdown that South Haven scored.
Yeah, well, So what happened was Lighthouse had momentum, and they were driving. The first drive, they didn't do anything, then South Haven scored. But in the second drive, they were getting momentum, and then the holding call. And then they had to go, and they turned the ball over on downs to South Haven. And then South Haven, as that punt was almost blocked by South Haven.
And it's Isaac Taylor who's carrying it back, trying to weave through, and tripped at about the 15-yard line is where they'll spot it, and the Patriots have a chance to get another touchdown here as, like we said, the mercy rule just running.
But then going back to it, they had South Haven 3rd and long, and then 3rd and very long. And then what they did was they, I forgot no, it was 4th and 5. They had it 4th and 5, and then there was an offsides penalty that South Haven drew to extend the drive. And then the very next play was a 35-yard touchdown run. And then South Haven gets no, not South Haven, Lighthouse. I think they go down and score, don't they? And then there was just they kept shooting themselves in the foot too many times tonight.
So now a 1st and 10 here for the Patriots on the 15-yard line, trying to get another score in as Crawley airs it out to the end zone. Touchdown! And a diving reception by the tight end, Jaden Batson.
Let's see if I can get the end of that one. That was a great throw and catch there from Crawley. As Lighthouse brought the blitz, man, just drifts behind the safety, wide open.
What a way to return after having shoulder surgery at the beginning of the season in your first play of 2020 to come back in and get a touchdown reception. That moment has to be really special for Batson, especially the chance to give his team a playoff win first time at home. As about 5 minutes and winding down left in the third, a 2-point conversion attempt by Crawley, across the middle, incomplete, intended for Sordo. And as the clock continues to run down, about under 5 minutes left to go in the third in this semifinal as the Patriots try to wrap it up. As the Patriots are about to kick off here, we'll tell you about Lighthouse's schedule. I mean, they had the same amount of break for South Haven with 3 weeks in the year, and they opened up the season on the road at Riverside. Tough loss there. Hosted South Haven, another tough loss there. They got the victory on the road at Sacred Heart, as the return attempt here is from Blevins. Adam Blevins getting to the outside and to the 22-yard line. But with Lighthouse, they had their game at Sacred Heart. They had two bye weeks, and then at Christian Community, which we were there for that game, and then their game against Bowling Green. They had the momentum going into the postseason. Then sudden cancellation due to COVID-19 for Ezel Harding, and do what you want with that. But with Lighthouse, they've also had a tough schedule, but they've been put in a lot of situations where they could have easily won those contests.
Well, definitely. They like I said, they just in many games this year they've just shot themselves in the foot too many times to overcome, and most of the time it comes back to bite you, and especially here tonight as we're seeing firsthand. Really, this was a tough situation for Lighthouse to come into South Haven. South Haven has looked good all year. Come into a 1 seed and try and beat them at their place. But Lighthouse has put forth effort tonight, and the game was closer in the first half than the score indicated.
Carry to the left side and gain of about 5 yards for Lighthouse as it winds down. And you have to feel for the 4 seniors on Lighthouse's squad too. You know, Jared Campbell, Jared Campbell, Blevins, Teague, and Kobe Sweat, the final extreme player of the week for the season. You have to feel for those seniors who, in their season, their only 2 victories have come from one independent team and one that was ineligible for the postseason. So you have to feel as well for the seniors as they close out the majority of them close out their high school careers here in Springfield in the playoffs.
Well, they made it to the semifinals. There's nothing really to hang your hat about if you're Lighthouse. Really.
As the Patriots surround him in the backfield, that's Steele gets surrounded. The sophomore just not able to go anywhere. But you were saying, Zachary?
But you got to keep your head held high. You were given a tough task coming in here to South Haven and trying to pull out a win, and they looked good. They looked good tonight, except they weren't able to finish off those drives, and that's what cost them. If they were able to finish off their drives, I know if we're starting to saying ifs and everything, but if they finish off their first couple of drives instead of getting those penalties, you're looking at a lot closer ball game. Really, maybe a 1 to 2 score contest going into halftime.
And 60 seconds left in the third and winding down as the Lions face a 3rd down and 13. Only 1 score on the board for the Lions, and that was when they were down 20. They were down 20-0. As a carry by Blevins,
and that is going to be
down.
A high hit.
High hit there. Perkins talking to his officials.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the defense, 15 yards. We play 3rd down.
As we're going to go back and we're going to watch this replay. Look, the quarterback here is already going down. Just let him go. Lowered his shoulder, hit him in the helmet. That's going to draw a flag every time at the high school level.
And at the end of the 3rd quarter, 52-8, the Patriots trying to wrap it up and seal a date with the Falcons in the TSIAA Championship next week. So they already started the clock at the beginning of the 4th quarter. Spencer Thompson, Zachary Lone, and Jack Helwig bringing the action here from Springfield, Tennessee, as the Patriots trying to wrap it up and prepare to head to Christian Community and May Flanders Field to collide with the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons in the 2020 TSIAA State Championship as the Lions move it forward, move the chains for a 1st down.
And at this point, it's just formality. They're just both teams are just playing. They're just playing to escape tonight without injuries. As
so 1st and 10 here for Lighthouse as Patriots just winding it down here. And first and 10 here, carry on the left side. So go down, back to the line of scrimmage, a second down. So our usual tradition, let's go ahead and get our usual tradition of getting a shot of both of the coaches. And we'll get Coach Hollis after this play. Coach James Sawyer's in his first season at the helm. Only one loss on the year. Only one loss on the year. Hard to see Coach Sawyer's from the top here, but again, he's been with the South Haven organization for several years, and of course the Patriots made the move in the offseason to go. Of course, you could see in the blue jacket there, Jason Zimmerman is still on the coaching staff, so they made the move to switch Sawyer's to the head coaching position, and so far it's worked out pretty well for him, especially to have a supporting cast in the state champion in Jason Zimmerman.
Oh, definitely, especially when you're looking at a 1 seed going into the championship.
As it's tossed across the middle, incomplete.
Especially when you're when you're playing going up against FCA, a team that you played really well, which was the 1 seed from the other side of the bracket. You feel confident going into this next game if you're South Haven. Yes, you lost the game, but there was a lot of things that very easily you could have fixed. And we're going to be in for a good one.
Patriots are 4-1 on the season, but if you do count the forfeit from Sacred Heart, they're 5-1 under Coach Sawyer's, and now looking like they're going to go 6-1. And for Coach Brian Hollis, of course, we'll get to him after this play with a 3rd down and 10 here for the Lions. About 8:40 left to go in the game and winding down. And 3rd down, a handoff up the middle and stopped about the line of scrimmage, but managed to push through for a gain of 2 or 3 yards.
Ball's out number 4 for the Lions.
So Coach Brian Hollis, in his 2nd season overall, 3-5, and you add up all the games from this year: 3-6, 3-7, 4-7, and 4-8, 5-8. Chance to go 5-9 on the year, which only 4 games back from 500 is nothing to be ashamed about. But for Coach Hollis, he's had a tough task trying to lead the Lions to successful seasons. As you know, Coach DeJuan Sharp went to Father Ryan as a special coach there, and I think it was either special teams or a line coach, something along those lines. But once DeJuan Sharp left, they had a tough task. Hollis had a tough task ahead to take up the helm of the Lighthouse Lions football program, and as the assistant athletic director and all the things he does at the school and everything, it's not been easy for Lighthouse, and they of course got to the semifinal here by Ezel Harding forfeiting and all the situations that happened with that for them to get into the postseason with Sacred Heart being ineligible. They at least were in the postseason, but it's been a tough journey for them.
At the end of the day, we're having the 2 1 seeds play off for the championship. So, I mean, really, there was going to have to be an upset somewhere for one of the both 1 seeds not to make it, as both of them were going to probably be pretty heavy favorites coming into tonight. Lancaster, of course, would probably give FCA a fight, but FCA is
as carry here by Sordo. Benjamin Sordo getting to the outside, staying up, and weaves through the defense. Benjamin Sordo is going to go in for a Patriots touchdown.
There is a flag, though. I think this is going to come back. I think this is going to be holding.
Get the call from Perkins. And, yep, it's going to be on the offense. We'll get the call from Perkins officially. He was signaling that over to.
Blocking it back during the run, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, repeat 1st down.
So it's still 1st down, but no touchdown there for Sordo, as 6 minutes remain in the 4th. Perfect time to tell you guys that this 2020 TSIAA semifinal, presented by Kingdom.com, sponsored by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider, Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle, Tennessee Heat Athletics, visit TennesseeHeatSports.com, and by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. It's been a one-sided game the majority of the time. Lighthouse, it looks like they could have got something going after that first and only touchdown they've had in the game, when it was only a 14-point difference. But then South Haven just turned on the Jets and continually did what everyone expected for them to do, as Patriots air it out to the middle, and
this is going to be a legal motion, as the receiver down closest to the South Haven sideline was never set.
And see if we can get the call for Burke, 'cause he's talking to Sawyers and company. They don't think they like the call, but. As Perkins and company try to sort this out. Timeout called by the Patriots, so it doesn't look like there's a flag there.
They did mark off 5 yards at the end of the play there. As soon as the referee was.
So they didn't call this. So they didn't give an official penalty announcement there. But you're right, they marked off 5 yards there. So
I think what it was the receiver to the bottom of the screen. I don't have the replay. Was bouncing a little, and I think that's what they called.
timeout called by the Patriots with 4:33 left to go in the game. As it's a 1st and 15 for the Patriots with that penalty marker on the field. As ball is loose in the backfield, and Patriots falling at about the 28.
That was a good job there, falling on the ball. Just making sure that Lighthouse doesn't get a scoop and score.
So about 2nd and 1/4 of the field left for them to gain here, as I believe Perkins may have an Nope, no announcement here.
But we're in for a treat next Saturday.
The state championship, the #1 seeds. That's how it's been since 2017. The #1 seeds in the North and South have collided, as big tackle with the ball loose in the backfield is ruled down by contact. But that tackle was made by Jared Campbell, the senior, getting in there and making a big play in what he knows is going to be his final high school football game with his teammates.
Yes, that was a good job there of Campbell being in the backfield as soon as the ball was handed off, and that was a great read, stopping the play before it even gets started.
So about third down here, 3 minutes left to go, and as you mentioned, it's the state championship. 2017 is the only anomaly in the last 5 seasons to the #1 seeds not colliding in the championship, as tackle in the backfield, Noe gets it. And so 2017 was Christian Community in South Haven, 1 and 2 seeds. 2018 it was Christian Community in the Webb School. 19 it was Ezel Harding and Christian Community, and now number 1 seeds are going to collide for the state championship again. And 18-0, the lead that South Haven had on the road going into halftime, and then 23 unanswered points. But the big factor that came into that, of course, is, as you mentioned it, Emmanuel Deng, he looked completely gassed because they had carried the ball so many times with them in the first half, is why they were up by 3 touchdowns. And because of that, and because of the reps of the season continuing, Emmanuel Deng looks even more dangerous as he goes into that state championship next Saturday.
Tonight, I only remember 2 to 3 times that he's even touched the ball. Of course, he had that incredible touchdown run.
They may be rusting him for the championship. That's a factor in there, as it's punted away, and it's touched there, and Lighthouse touches the ball.
As it looks like we're going to have one more play before this game's over.
Something like that. And we'll be getting an interview with Coach James Sawyers in a little bit on the field.
We also have another game next week.
Yep, next week, state championship, and then we turn right around. We turn right around tonight to do the national championship fully, and the first time that we'll ever do that fully. And then, of course, state championship. There's also the Division II championship occurring, or essentially the TSIAA Bowl. That is in between the Riverside Knights and the Franklin Classical School Knights. So we'll be broadcasting all of those games next Saturday. Of course, Jack Elwig and James Shannon will be on call for the D2 championship. Myself and Zachary will be in full swing for that one, ready to see something special for sure.
Got to rest our voices. We have five games in 4 days.
Lighthouse will just knee it, and the dark horse is vanquished. The South Haven Christian School Patriots have a date with the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons in the 2020 TSIAA State Championship. And that will wrap it up here. We're headed down to the field to get an interview with Coach Sawyers. We'll be right back. Thank you for watching this 2020 TSIAA quarterfinal presented by Kingdom.com.
Welcome, everybody, to the Postgame Show. I'm Spencer Thompson. That's Zachary Lone. That scoreboard is turned off, but 52-8, the final score. And Mr. Hellwig, if you would go to the computer and click the eye icon on the finalized bracket, you see it right there. Either 7 o'clock or 7:30 is going to be the finalized time for the 2020 TSIAA State Championship game. The Patriots and the Falcons set to collide in a rematch that was oh so beautiful that we witnessed in the third week of our broadcast coverage. And what an incredible game to see here, Zachary. But for Lighthouse, it's tough with all the challenges they've had this season to take a loss in that fashion. But for their program, they've only got 4 seniors, a lot of juniors who they'll remember this. And when they go into the 2020 season, who knows what's going to happen with Lighthouse.
Definitely, this will leave a bad taste in their mouth, and that's going to make them want to go even further next year. Yes, they get to semifinals. Yes, for instance, they're like, yes, we got to semifinals. We weren't supposed to get this far. We were a 3 seed, but them next year is going to give an added extra motivation to get to that championship game and give yourself a shot, just a shot to win the championship. You always want to take that next step each year.
And I don't like going down hypotheticals that much, but you wonder how this game would have been different if it had been Ezel Harding coming up here to Springfield. It's that, and if we had seen Lancaster and Franklin Christian collide for the semifinal down in Franklin. But a little bit of a preview for the NHSA tournament tomorrow as we're waiting for Coach Sawyers. He's talking with his guys right now, but a little bit of a preview. Of course, we've got the Ezekiel Academy Eagles against the Southern Prep Fighting Rangers to start off. And Southern Prep, they were not the number 4 seed in the NHSA rankings to start off, but they were one of the teams that actually agreed to come down, as a lot of teams were invited on that list. And Ezekiel Academy, the Eagles just look like the best team we've seen all year, with only 1 loss coming to Lighthouse Homeschool when they lost their starting quarterback. And that first semi, we got a quick turnaround for it, about 14 hours, but it's looking like it's going to be a fantastic contest.
Oh, definitely. Both games are going to be fantastic. But just looking at the first one, Ezekiel, just being able to see Ezekiel again. We saw them when they played Freedom Cowboys. They looked incredible. They had athletes all across the field. And we hinted that there is a possibility that if they keep playing like they did, then they were going to be in the tournament tomorrow.
Yeah, and that second matchup between the Tennessee Heat and the Evangel Christian School Lightning, 2-time defending national champions trying to three-peat, and they already made history last year as the first team to go back-to-back, but chance to make history with three-peating. But for the Tennessee Heat, it's one of those contests where earlier in the year, Coach Scott told us they could have won that game. They could have put themselves in a position to get it and correct the mistakes. Now, an even more dangerous team who's undefeated in 8-man football in Tennessee. That rematch is probably going to be one of the better semis tomorrow night.
Definitely, and I guarantee Coach Scott's in their ear saying, guys, look, we didn't play our best ball, and we were in it the whole time. So for us, just get better. We can beat them. And then for Evangel saying, we beat them once. Let's just do what we did the last time, and then we should still be fine. Evangel has another big advantage of being the 2-time defending national champion, so they know how to win these things. Sometimes it's not always who's a better team is, it's who has the best experience, who can perform better under the pressure.
And the first time that Evangel has not been in the state championship for the ACSC or ASCS, I always mix up that acronym, but the first time they haven't been in that state championship, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes down with them not winning a state title, but the chance to win a national title. They got to get the job done against the Tennessee Heat first. You see a little bit in the background for us, the Lighthouse players. They are celebrating. They're celebrating, and of course, nothing for them to truly be ashamed of, as they, of course, got here to the semifinals with these Harding forfeiting. But while we're still waiting for Coach Sawyers, for Ezel Harding and Lancaster Christian, likely they would have been the teams to travel for the – well, Ezel Harding would have likely been the team traveling here to the semis if Lighthouse played the same way that they did. But for Lancaster Christian as well, both of these teams, an unfortunate forfeit, sad situation for them, but that just gives them more motivation going into 2021 to charge back to the playoffs and try to bring a state title back.
Especially now with the COVID hit spike in Tennessee, it's safe for everyone involved, both all parties, just to go ahead and yes, it's terrible, but it's better overall for your team's health and the other team's health, because you don't want to spread it to other teams as well. But for instance, with Ezel Harding, we're not 100% sure that they would even beat Lighthouse. That's another thing you got to take in consideration. Yes, everyone's like, well, Lighthouse, Lighthouse, I mean, they wouldn't beat Ezel. Last week, that same thing was saying about CCS and Lancaster. Lancaster, yes, we knew Lancaster was good and had as good as a team, but it's like, well, they never have won at CCS, so they haven't done this or done that. Yep. That's why it's so much fun doing high school games, because you never know what's actually going to happen.
Yeah, you have no idea as Lancaster got that victory on the road, of course. You know what, producer Helwig, while we're waiting on Coach Sawyers to come over and they're celebrating over in the end zone, tell us your thoughts from this semi and what you think about the championship game going into 8 days from now at May Flanders Field.
Well, me personally, I feel that this was a very well played all the way through game for South Haven. I believe that they came out strong, never let up even for a single moment. Lighthouse played good. Unfortunately, couldn't capitalize on a few turnovers. But now FCA versus South Haven, who will come out on top between the 1 seeds. It's a battle of defense. It's going to be low scoring or it's going to be a shootout. There's no in between. It's a matter of who can capitalize off turnovers. It's a matter of who can make the big plays in crunch time.
It's about 40 degrees out here. No clue what producer Jack just said to us, but I am certain that it was just as wise and insightful as ever. But warmer weather is around the corner for you, my friend. You could see the shivering a little bit. This is why I brought my jacket out here. Well, now the jacket has started to come out because of it getting colder.
I left my jacket actually in the press box for some reason.
Brought it down, man.
Yeah, this is my fault. This is my fault.
But warmer weather on the horizon for Panama City
Sunny
Beach.
and 70s.
Well, more importantly, you'll be in a warm car or a heated car as we're going down to Panama City. So
yes,
it's you can see as well that probably a little bit there. You can see that there's the Jack is waving the jacket at us from the press box. It's glorious. You can see a little bit. You can see he's the one who's going to get penalized. You see the Patriots clapping over there, probably finalizing their post-game meeting, and you can see a little bit of the fan base here for the Patriots all huddling around that heater that they have on the sideline, just a little bit, as the Patriots celebrate a championship berth for the first time since 2017. Of course, in 2018, they missed the postseason, not a single win on the year. 2019, hosting a playoff game here and then taking the loss to the Riverside Christian Academy Knights, and now 2020. They're headed to a state championship, and the last time that this happened, 2017, they only had 1 loss on the year, and that was to Christian Community. They got revenge on them. They had 1 loss on the year, and that was to Franklin Christian. Can history rewrite itself here, or should I wait till Extreme Radio on Sunday for you to give your opinion?
I'm not going to make my pick now.
I
will say this is going to be the hardest pick I've had to make all year, especially tonight. The big thing is South Haven is coming in off of a game after playing Lighthouse, and then the next game they and then now Franklin Christian hasn't played for a while.
Yeah, Franklin Christian, they're going to be a month rest as coach there. I don't know what coach just said to me as he's running away, but it's pretty chill.
I think he said face him this way.
Maybe, yeah, something like that. But who knows? But we'll get Coach Sawyer. Oh, I know what they're talking about. They're probably going to dunk him.
Oh.
They're probably going to dunk him in Gatorade.
Well,
Unless they just tossed the rest of them though, so I don't know how it's going to go. You hear him saying, "Hey." All right, so we'll get Coach Sawyers in just a moment.
We'll get Coach Sawyers. We're gonna have a long car ride.
It's gonna be a long one for sure. As we bring over the victorious head coach who's headed to the state championship in his first season at the helm of the Patriots, Coach James Sawyers. Congratulations on the win, and in what's been an unprecedented season by far, you managed to get the job done at home. Last year, the Patriots hosted a playoff game and took the loss to Riverside. What is it that you told your guys to do to get done on the road?
Well, first thing.
Let's go!
Prime television.
I can't tell you what I'm going to tell them now.
I don't know why they're dunking you now as opposed to the championship, but we'll see how it goes there.
It shows their confidence, isn't it?
I am sure this microphone is lasting just fine. Can you one over there? Oh, that's glorious. But
thank you, friend.
But anyways, what did you tell your guys to get the victory here at home, especially against a team that some have said that they shouldn't necessarily be in the playoffs? But what did you tell your guys going against Lighthouse?
Well, first of all, I mean, props to Lighthouse, props to Coach Hollis. They've improved drastically. They actually got on one of our guys' social media last night and said, you know, it ain't going to happen again. What happened last time, and it didn't. We, you know, we were up 50-6, I think, at halftime, and they played hard. They played good. They got some players back. We're healthier. I just told the guys, I said, they're not going to lay down. I said, and we don't want them to. You know, we want the competition. We know that it's going to be competitive next week, and we want to get ready for that. And so just told them, you said, you can't look past it. We can't look at FCA right now. We got to get this job done, and they're standing between us and the state championship now. Now FCA is.
Now, of course, a few injuries that happened on your side. You had some players looked at the training staff. Can you give us any update on Starnes and any of your other players that went down during the game?
Yeah, so Starnes, he just wasn't able to put a lot of weight on it, so we really won't know till tomorrow. She said it's best if we didn't need him to put him back in the second half. We're praying for him. Hopefully he'll be able, you know, we'll see when we take his shoe off how the swelling is. But he's our backup center, and so if we needed to put him in at center, we could have. So we were waiting for that. But hopefully he'll be ready to go. Manny tweaked his groin muscle just a little bit, you know, but he'll be ready to go. We didn't want to use him if we didn't have to. So other than that, I think, you know, we're pretty good to go.
And as you mentioned, your first game of the season. Now, in 2017, South Haven took one loss in the regular season, and that was to Christian Community, who they got revenge against in the 2017 championship. Now, only loss you've taken is to Franklin Christian, and it was a 23-18 game where they took the win. But no predictions, of course, but the job is done here. What is the overall message you're giving to your players as you go to try and bring your second state title back to Springfield?
Well, you know, we just told them ever since that first game, you know, we had a lot of things not go our way, and we wanted this opportunity. I mean, we just wanted a chance, you know, whether it be FCA or anybody else, we just wanted a chance to play that game over. We wanted to play it that next day, you know, but we, you know, now we have that opportunity. And so I told them this is what everybody dreams of, to have a chance to play the team that beat you in the regular season again in the playoffs, and hopefully flip the script.
This is going to be a matchup that's unlike any other. Congratulations to you on the win. Best of luck in the state championship next week, Coach.
Okay,
appreciate you
thanks a
so
lot.
much. Zachary, any final thoughts?
You must be 10 times harder than I am.
Any final thoughts before we sign off here?
Well, I've never seen a Gatorade bath like before. This is awesome. But going into next week, looking at this Franklin Christian versus South Haven game, there's so many storylines, so many matchups to watch. This is what you want in a championship game. You want two teams who are the best, and they proved throughout the regular season that they are the best, playing against each other in the championship game. So we got the best of the best.
Yep, the number one seeds will collide for a state championship for the third straight year. The Falcons and the Patriots for the TSIAA state championship next Saturday. Well, my friend, I could tell you're cold enough. It's time for us to take the travel down to Panama City. For producer Jack Helwig, for Zachary Lone, as well as producer James Shannon back at home, I'm Spencer Tomset. Thank you for tuning in to this semifinal of the TSIAA presented by Kingdom.com. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. The national championship for 8-man football begins with the semifinals. It begins at 12 with Ezekiel Academy and Southern Prep, and then concludes on Monday afternoon at between 3 and 4 p.m. with the national championship in 2020. Again, Spencer Tomzett saying so long from Springfield.